main concepts or ideas having thrust into the native soil. We should not just take it that these are pan-Indian. We are definitely follow the nationalism, say that in Indian, but at the same time, we should not sacrifice our Indianness, indigenousness. That should be taken for granted. So I advise my friend, Boston friend Bharati, be careful. I like this type of.
Can we Dr. Bhakti, would you like to respond to this?
No, technology's concern is not a problem. Martin Marriott, a famous American anthropologist, has spoke the Indian continuum in the form of little and great traditions. For that, we have alternate terms, folk tradition, classical tradition, and then there is no problem. Among the primitive tribal groups in Western Ghats, especially in the Nilgiri Hills, we have a strong phenomenon of Hinduization, where they could raise these Kamatraya as the equivalent forms or proto forms of Shiva. The native people claim, not myself. Professor Yamuna has clearly noted in his lengthy work among the Kotas and Evlas and Todas. So, many scholars have proposed that among the Nilgiri tribes, we could find a phenomenon of Sanskritization or Hinduization in a strong way over the centuries. So, we could not interpret in another way. The native people themselves identify Kamatraya as a proto-form of Shiva, not myself. Thank you.
I think this is a point well raised. I think we need to do a lot of critiquing of this, which I think some scholars in their political fervor of, call it nationalism or whatever, which has been running through the centuries as well, have eliminated those very cultural specific differences. And I think we as scholars need to be very alert. I think the point is well made. We need to really engage with it more and more. And if one sort of, as a comment, I would like to say this, that if we do make this blank statement of pan-Indianism or whatever, which now gets translated in a variety of ways, there's definitely an imposition that happens of the, say, language of power that comes up, which is injected with religious fervor. And that is why I think I would like to also link this up with what Professor Pillamila's paper pointed out, of two Muslim deities that were created. And that sort of shows the cultural historicity over time in that particular region, the Tulu region that you were talking about. So that is understandable, but I do not understand how we can come to the conclusion about pan-Indianism, and I think that point is well made. Okay. Should we move on to another question?
The paper by Professor Mahadevan, 2-3 things came to my mind, and because I don't have much knowledge about them, so I need some information. One is, I was intrigued with the use of term modernity in case of description of these tribes from Sambalpur. Because modernity is a state of mind and modernization, because you are concerned with process or with modernization or modernity as a problem, number one. Number two, you made distinction between ritual and performance. I take it well. But the performance, ritual is also a performance. So in what way they become different? And another thing I felt was that paper gave an impression as if these societies are bereft of modernity, that they are not modern at all. Well, the fact is that every society, if it has survived over centuries, has its own logic, its own indigenous logic. That means that we erase that indigenous logic and we have certain notion of modernity or modernization, and we try to see that from that perspective. But I would be happy if you help me in reconciling with these terms.
I understood modernity as a process, and I said that technology, the spread of technology is one of the features of this, and it is one of the features. There are other things happening as the process of modernity, but spread of technology and commercialization of traditional arts and forms of cultural practices, how they are affected. That is one thing. I am not arguing for or against, but just want to study the changes that happen.
I think it's very nuanced, the term itself, modernity, and there are many definitions. And I think what you're probably referring in your paper is to commercialization more than modernity as such. You're really looking at Bollywood changes that are happening, the kind that Bollywood is dictating, or over time the market is dictating, or whatever that means. I think it needs to be problematized a little more, and modernity be understood with different parameters that we have in mind when we talk about modern literature. What does that mean? Modern orality going from ritual to performance, how? And what does performance stand for in the context of commercial stage? Anyway, so shall we close, or is there any other pressing need to discuss anything else?
Just one comment.
Yeah.
We need to evolve a new methodology to understand unwritten languages in the current Indian context. Otherwise, if you go with the existing models, you will end up with comparing these discourses. Yeah, it will create anarchy. Because during colonial period, as you know it, the one text has been created by many texts. The Sultankar was asked to compile one Mahabharata with the available 60 texts. So he was traveling all over Kashmir to Kanyakumari and collected 61 texts, and he created one more text sitting in Bhandarkar Oriental Manuscript Library. And he was such a nice gentleman. At the end he commented that this is the 62nd text I have created. But now we have to ask a question: why one text has been created so many texts? So it's going in the other way around to understand a lot of unwritten cultures. So because of the contemporary compulsions, we tend to compare the existing knowledge with already detailed or already published material. It's need not. So let us. All I wanted to say that let us try to evolve a new methodology to decolonize our thinking and to understand written languages and the content of the written language in a different way. That's it. It's just a comment.
Should we close the session now? You said 3:30. I think I have performed and finished at 3:30. All right. So I believe tea is on the anvil right now. So we come back here at 4 o'clock for the next session, which is a panel discussion. Thank you.